Genevieve over here at Bergstrom Lexus in Appleton. We just got in our first 2017 Lexus RX 350, and I'm going to take a few minutes and show you guys what it's all about. Here we go. So we just got this in. It is the silver lining metallic with the black leather interior. This is actually the first 2017 that we've got in. I've really walked around it a couple times this morning. I can't see anything that's that different from it from the 2017, but we kind of expected that because when Lexus does a redesign from one year to the next year, there's not going to be too many changes on the car. So it still has the hourglass front grille with the LED wrap lighting, the chrome outline for your fog lights. There's a little bit of a black insert inside of there as well. And this silver lining metallic is the same silver, also that it was put on the car in 2016. This car also still has the 20-inch wheels on it with the chrome rims with the black accents. I have a guest that calls them the clover wheels. And then you still have parking sensors. There's two on the front and then 4 of them here on the back of the car. You still have the dual exhaust. Still the LED rear lighting. And this car has 2 extra things on it. These roof rack rails that are up on the top. And then this car has also a tow hitch on it. And this is just a little rubber covering that's over this hole right here. And you can pull the covering off, and then there is parts that go with it inside here in the trunk. It's also just a button you can push on the back that power opens it. Still has the touch-free feature as well. But inside of here is the mounting bracket that goes inside that for your tow hitch. The car also comes with 2 sets of floor mats. So what's in the car right now is the rubber mats. So you have this rubber cargo mat and rubber floor mats for the rest of the car. These are all the carpet mats that come with the vehicle as well, and also a carpet cargo mat. They've got this like cool Lexus stitching on it. It's actually called a cargo envelope, so you could just put some stuff in here that you didn't want flying around all over the back of the car while you're driving. And then you've got these 2 little levers over here. You can pull these levers and they drop the rear seats down. Also, these covers, I don't think I've ever showed you guys this before. These covers can come out, just pulling them on the side. You could lift them up and just take the whole thing out of the car if you didn't want it. Otherwise, this is a cover that covers up things back here. So that's just a little bit in the rear of the car. You still have your rear backup camera right there. And the touch-free power door just wouldn't work right now for me to do it because I actually have the car running and I don't have a key on me outside. And so if the car was off and I had the key on me, I'd be able to put my hand over the rear logo like this and it would power open the back hatch. So here is the other side of the car. And now we'll hop inside and I'll kind of show you the features on the inside. Oh, first before we hop in, if you can kind of see, it's really sort of hard to see. There's these pictures of 2 little cars that are right here on the side view mirror. You can kind of see it now. That is the blind spot monitor, and those spots light up a bright orange when someone's driving in your blind spot. And I'll turn that feature on in the car so maybe we can see it light up. You've got memory seating here on the driver door. Keeps memory of your seat, your steering wheel, and your side view mirrors for 3 different drivers. 1 touch open close for all your windows. Unlock and lock for the whole car. This button locks out power to everybody's window except for yours. You have an auto mode for your side view mirrors here, and right now it's in auto mode, and what that means is when you lock the car, the side mirrors will come in, and when you unlock it, they'll go back out. But I can also push this little button right here and make my mirrors do that when I want them to. And when I do that, it just kicks off the auto mode, so I just got to turn the auto mode back on so that the car does it when it locks and unlocks. A couple other features over here before I hop in. You have the auto button for the brights. So if you like to drive around, like if you live in the country and you're driving around with your brights on, if you have this button pushed in, you can just kind of see it pushed in or pushed out, it will dim your brights when someone's driving at you, and then it puts them back up to normal when they move away. This little button right here is for your heated steering wheel. And this is the button inside the car that will power open and close the back hatch of the vehicle. And then you've got your engine hood release right here. And then this is just a little extra storage compartment for change and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna hop in here and show you guys a couple other things. So this is the car. It does have the black leather interior, and it's the same kind of seat design as the 2017. And then in the back as well, it's got that same kind of stitching that the front seats have. This car is also equipped with a moonroof. It does not have the double one. The double moonroof is in the luxury package. This car is the premium package. A lot of people ask me the MSRP of these vehicles. So this one's around $55,400. They're usually around $54,000 without the roof rack rails and without the tow hitch already on them. These are buttons inside the car that open and close your moonroof. Open, close, and then tilting it up and down. This SOS button here is Lexus Safety Connect, kind of like having a 911 button in the car. If your airbags deploy, they connect to you automatically. Otherwise, you push that button if you're in an emergency. Then they've just got these little touch lights that you just literally just touch your hands on, and they turn off and on. Sunglass compartment. Rear view mirror. Home link system. You can program up to 3 different garage door openers right here underneath in these little buttons right here. And then this little green light that's on the car, that is an electrochromatic dimming feature for your mirror. So when someone drives up at you at night, this will just dim if their headlights are on, and then when they go away, it just goes back to normal. So then here in the center console, you still have the analog clock. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love it. And then here the radio instrument panel, still very similar to the 2016 volume knob, tuning knob, jumping from radio to media. So radio is going to be anything AM, FM, satellite. Media is going to be anything on your phone or anything that you've got plugged into the car. These are your climate controls down here, where you've got dual climate control, so you can have a different temperature on either side of the car. And if I just push this, you just see I'm changing the temperature now for the whole car. If I push over here, I'm just changing it for my passenger side. Auto mode, where you can just set the temperature to whatever you want, and then the car will just increase and decrease the temperature on its, or the fans on its own, to keep the car at whatever temperature you pick there. Then down here, so this is really similar to also how the 16 was. This is kind of when it all went to this design. This is actually your emergency brake right here, just pushing this down and pulling it up. It also has an auto feature in it, so that when the car is in park, it engages the parking brake, and then when you go back into drive, it disengages it. It also has the park hold feature that will engage the emergency brake when you're in drive and you bring the car all the way to a complete stop. It has an auto feature now for the heated and air conditioned seats. So normally in most of the cars, it was just, you were just turning the heated or air conditioned seats on based on, the temperature that you wanted, how fast you wanted it to go. But if you leave them in auto mode, if you have the air conditioning on, it will turn the air conditioned seats on. If you've got the heater on, it'll turn the heated seats on, and it just kind of adjusts that without you actually having to do it. But you can still, of course, manually adjust it as well if you'd like. Then of course you still have the shifter here, and with the shifter, I'm just going to kind of show you here. When you pull it into drive, I've got some weird glare here. So you pull it into drive. I'm obviously in drive. I can also pull it over here into to the left side, and you see now that there's a little light that's lit up over the S. That means now that I can manually shift the car. So by pushing up on my shifter, I can upshift and downshift. And if you didn't know, a change that they made to this car in 2016 is that it is now an 8-speed transmission. So you could actually shift through all 8 gears if you really wanted to. And then when I push it back over to drive, it just puts it back in D. So you can just kind of do that on the fly right when you're driving. Now it puts you in kind of a higher gear. You can't actually mess up. Like if I were to drive right now and never shift the car, it's going to shift it to 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear for me. It's also going to slow it down to 3rd gear, 2nd gear, 1st gear for me as well. It's not going to let you stall the car out or mess up the transmission. So it's more so just kind of for fun. So that is how that part works here. 2 cup holders. You still, of course, have the smart key. The key also looks identical to how it did in the 16 as well. Still that walnut wood trim. It kind of curves up right here. Little storage compartment inside of here as well. This lets you move around the cursor up here for your mouse. Show you something. If I click on this big button right up here in the corner when I get over onto the left side, that is actually how it makes it go back to your 12.3-inch navigation screen. And I am moving everything on the screen. Now you can kind of see there's that cursor there. I am moving all of it with this little mouse here. So then there's other things that I can select. I can hit this menu button and it pulls up my big menu of all of the things that I can access through this screen. I can hit the map, it goes back to the map. I can put the car in reverse, it shows up my backup camera. There's lines on there too, and it will actually turn as you turn, so you can kind of see where you're going. Park. Then this over here is the electronically controlled transmission. So if I turn it to the left, it will light up eco mode right here on your dash. And it also puts eco mode over here just for a brief minute on your navigation screen. And what the eco mode does is make you drive in a way that's going to get you the best fuel efficiency. So if you slam your foot on the accelerator, the car is not going to take off like crazy. It's going to accelerate how it wants to accelerate to make sure you're getting the best fuel efficiency. I can also turn it to the right. It puts it in sport mode. Sport mode right there. And what sport mode does is kind of the opposite of eco. It will shift the car at a higher RPM and give you snappier response and quicker pickup and acceleration, but it will also burn a lot more fuel. So saving fuel, burning fuel, and then if I push this, it just goes to normal. There's no lights that come on anywhere. You just don't see eco or sport anywhere. And that's just you driving the car in your normal way. This is a button that locks in your center differential and turns on your all-wheel drive system no matter what. You do not have to do this every time you want the car to be in all-wheel drive. This is only just as a backup feature if you were stuck in a ditch or something. When you push this button, it only lets the car stay in all-wheel drive up to 15 miles an hour. After that, it will kick you back out of it. This other button that's right over here is your traction control. Also really good to leave on. If you have your traction control pushed in, it's going to have this notification up here that says traction control turned off in front of you the whole entire time that you have it turned off. What traction control does when it's on is it keeps your wheels from spinning. So if you had traction control turned off, it's going to allow your wheels to spin, so maybe kind of like rock you out of something if you were stuck in a ditch or something like that. And then inside of here, this flips over and there's a compartment in here for your cell phone. And then this opens up as well, just an extra storage compartment. And then you have your auxiliary plugs, USB auxiliary, and then another power source plug like that. There's also another one of these plugs right there. Then over here on the steering wheel, get the thing straight here. On the left side you have, if I can get that to zoom in a little bit better, on the left side you have your radio controls. So these are volume controls, skipping up and down to your next radio station, changing it from AM, FM, satellite, and then this is the voice command button.
Please say a category name.
So you could say any of these things, and after I push that button and wait for the beep, you can say any of these things to kind of start the voice activation process that helps you do things by voice in the car. Then the other two buttons that are over here, kind of really important ones, are your pickup button and your hang up button for your cell phone. So that's how you'd answer your phone and hang it up. And then over here on the right side, you've got this little kind of square thing here, and that changes this information right here in front of you. So I'm going to kind of move that square as I hold my phone here. So that first one is the information screen. Let me get it a little closer. So the first one is the information screen, and it just shows you current miles per gallon, average miles per gallon, how many more miles you can go in the tank of gas you have, your tire pressure, if you're in eco mode, if you're using all-wheel drive. Just kind of, you can kind of keep cycling through all of these little things that are in here. The next button over is your navigation. If the car's not taking you anywhere, it just shows you a kind of a compass here, and if it is taking you somewhere, it would have a little bit of information about your next destination, your next turn, or your next part of your route. And then if the radio is on, you would have radio information that would show up right here. The next button over here is for your cruise control. When you have the cruise control on, this little screen right here lets you adjust how this car has a feature on it called radar cruise, and this is letting you determine how far in front of you want that radar to bounce off the car in front of you. So that's 3 car lengths, 2 car lengths, 1 car length. And so what happens if somebody moves in front of you when you're set up at this distance, the radar would bounce off the car in front of you and slow you down. And then when that car moves out of the way, it would speed you back up again. If there was any messages that the car wanted to tell you, like low fuel or check engine or something like that, it would notify you there. And then here is a few other little extra things that you can add to the car, turn off and on. So the lane keep assist, there's actually a button on the steering wheel that you can hit that turns that off and on, but that's what LKA stands for. The pre-collision system, that's the radar that does the thing for your cruise control, also has a feature in it that will stop the car if something moves in front of it to try to help you avoid a collision. And BSM is your blind spot monitor. And actually I'm going to turn that off and on here. So hopefully we can see. So you can see that light, the orange light that I've got now in the side view mirror. I just turned the blind spot monitor on, and that's actually also what it looks like when it's active. Just like that bright orange light. Then on the steering wheel, just the last thing I want to show you here is those 2 buttons for, it's not zooming in very well. The 2 buttons for the lane keep assist is right here, and then the button that lets you adjust that speed for your cruise control. So those are just the 2 buttons on the bottom right of your steering wheel. Otherwise, your cruise control whole toggle is still right here. And then, of course, your start and stop button. You just have to have your foot on the brake, push the button, and that turns the car on. And then without your foot on the brake, that same button turns the car off. Steering wheel moves back, seat moves back. And that's everything. If you got any questions, want to see something in more detail, just let me know. I'm happy to help. Take care. Have a great day.